Are you a mom, a parent, and you wonder how you can balance being an author and managing a family at the same time? Don't go away. When we come back, we're going to meet author Carmen Ventrucci, and she's going to share her story with us. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Writers' Corner live show. I'm your host, Bridgetti Limbanda from Cape Town in South Africa. And in today's show, we're going to be talking to International Business Igniter, Carmen Ventrucci. But first, a warm welcome to my friend and co-host, Mary Elizabeth Jackson, who is a special needs and disabilities advocate and also the award-winning author of the Poolicious children's book series. Mary, how are you today?
I am doing really well. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to see your beautiful face and get to meet our author today. I know she's got some really great tidbits, and I can't wait to hear her journey too. But doing well. We got a gorgeous day here today. How about you? Is it freezing where you are?
It's not too bad. It's cold. We've actually got a really, really bad cold front that's going to hit us on Thursday and for the duration of the weekend. It's kind of one of those storms where they're saying, you know, hunker down, it's going to come down in buckets. So
Wow.
looking forward to that. So for everyone watching us, welcome to everyone on Facebook, on YouTube, on Periscope, and on LinkedIn. Great to have you live and also on the replay. And our guest today, and I'm in Cape Town, South Africa, and Mary is in the USA. So let us know where you are joining us from. It's always great to know where in the world you are watching from. So our guest today, Carmen Ventrucci, is known as the International Business Igniter. And as a business igniter, her mindset mastery and action-taking tactics help you achieve professional, personal, and financial success. But the reason we've got Carmen on the show today is because she is also an author, along with being a real estate investor, an entrepreneur, and a self-described badass mom to 6 kids. Now that takes some juggling, and she's got my respect for that. I can tell you that. And on top of all of this, she's also a taekwondo professional belt and will earn her black belt this year in 2020. And as I said, we're all over the world, and she lives in Minnesota in the USA. So let's invite her onto the show, shall we?
Yeah, don't meet her in a back alley somewhere. She'll kick your butt, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, Carmen, and welcome to the show. So glad to have you here today. Welcome.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here. And yes, apparently, don't meet me in a back alley. I was laughing so hard when I heard that. That was awesome.
How long did it take you to get to your, to where you are with your belt? I know that's not why we have you here, but I think it's great for moms to know, because with 6 kids, you've got to have some kind of something to defend yourself, right? So they don't attack you all at one time.
Oh yeah, especially when all your kids are in taekwondo too. You need to be able to defend yourself.
Wow.
Family sparring matches. So I've been doing taekwondo a little over 2 years, and so by the time I get my black belt, I've postponed my testing date a little bit this year due to COVID-19 and the quarantine, because it's very difficult to spar people virtually. So it will be about 2.5 years total from the time I started to the time I get my black belt.
Okay, awesome. One of my girls is 6 months from a black belt, and she just kind of lost her interest. I'm like, oh, come on, let's go.
Let's go.
So.
Our rule in the house, you will be a black belt and then you can quit if you want, or you can keep going.
Good rule.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. It's amazing how, and I think as a mom, you need to kind of have your children's back in that way, because sometimes, you don't know what's good for you when you're a child. You may think so. I mean, one of the things that I regret, for example, is I did ballet as a kid. And, right before a concert, I gave up. And I wish my mom had encouraged me to sort of stick with the program and just keep going. It may have been better for my chronic back pain had I kept going with the ballet, because sometimes we don't know what's good for us. But anyway, we're talking about your journey, both as an entrepreneur and an author. Now, what I want to know is, how do you manage all of this? There's a lot of us, especially now in the time we're living in with COVID and everything else going on. Has the skills that you have, has that helped you now in this period with COVID, just to sort of keep on top of things? Because that's kind of important. How do we do it's one thing talking about stuff out there, but how do you practice it at home in real life?
Oh my goodness. So great question. We actually had a lot of routines established in our house before COVID hit. And so if the kids knew, all right, today I'm playing softball, or today my sibling has this or that, or today is taekwondo day. So having those routines established prior to this has been a lifesaver. Now, the other flip side of that is listening to the feedback. So you have your routine. Sometimes your routine needs to change because COVID hits and suddenly you're homeschooling 6 children, or a child decides, like one of my kids right now, she was playing the clarinet. She's like, it's just not my thing. I want to do something else. I'm like, okay, we'll help you change that routine. We'll switch you from clarinet to she's going to join the choir. And so that's been key, is like, we're not afraid to try new things in our routine. And if we know it's not working or doesn't feel right, we'll do something else. And we know we're not going to get it right and get it perfect every single time. And we're still willing to do something else.
Flexibility.
Wow.
Flexibility.
Yes.
Yeah, flexibility.
Yes. Being flexible and adaptable. Those are also good qualities that a lot of people have been throwing around with COVID, the ability to pivot with purpose.
Yes, that was one of our friends, Lisa Vanderwack, right? We like her pivot with purpose. We like that.
Yes, I like that.
Absolutely. Now, how did you transition into throwing being an author into the mix of this? I mean, a lot of people struggle to write for many years. We've had authors on this show, and we're coming up for our 2-year anniversary. We've had an author that, it took him 30 years to finally get to the point of where he was writing. So with you having 6 children, you've got a full-time career going. You do taekwondo. How did you find the time to become an author, and why did you want to become an author?
So this is my very first book. I hope you can see it. It's called Dare to Be Authentic, Volume 5, Let Yourself Prosper. So this was actually a collaboration book. So as you can see, there's several authors on the front cover. I am one of them. So this is my first publication, my first book actually. And it was very easy to do because I was approached through my network. I was approached about being an author and being a contributor to this book. And I said, that sounds kind of scary. I'll do it anyways. Because I found that sometimes when things are a little scary, those are the things that are really worth doing. And this was a great way to I kind of caught the bug. I caught the writing bug. It was only I think it was a 3,000 or 4,000 word limit for your contribution to the book. So it's a very manageable piece. It was on authenticity. Authenticity is one of my core values. So it was very easy for me to write about. And I sat down with a glass of wine. I think I actually wrote most of it in an airport while I was traveling somewhere with a glass of wine. And I just kind of kept it on me, kept it on my phone so I could easily revise when I got new ideas. And the goal for me was to get published. The goal for me was not to be perfect. It was to meet the deadline do something that I was proud of, and take that step and take that leap of faith on something that I felt was scary at the time. And so being in a collaboration book like this was great for me as a first-time author, because other people were running, I no worries about the logistics of it. I had my deadline I had to work with, and I just had to be authentic. I had to make sure I was proud of it, and that was it. And so it was a great way to introduce me to the world of publishing.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So let me ask you on this note, because we have interviewed a couple of people who've done collaborations, and then I collaborate with I have a co-writer that we've collaborated on several things. Actually, we're finishing up a book right now. So I know how things have worked out between us. So you have all of these people in this book. Do you, we have Brigetti and I have an author friend who she is doing a collaboration with women, but you're paying to be in the book. So for you in this book, did you guys pay to be in it, or did you all sign the contract and you're splitting all the royalties up from sales, or how is that? How did y'all work that out for anybody who's listening and wants to do something like this?
Yes. Great question. I paid to be in the book.
Okay.
And so it was, I don't know, not even $500. I mean, it was extremely reasonable. And then I got so many copies, and I can always buy more copies of the book if I want them. I mean, I'm finding that these are great business cards. This is a business card on steroids, essentially, because you can say, hey, it's credibility. It's your credibility factor. Right. I'm in a book. See, I'm right there. And I mean, it's great, because then people are like, oh, you know what you're talking about. You're published. So yeah, I had to pay in it. It's been well worth it.
Okay. So you paid in, and then the money that you're making back off of it is the sales that you make or any of the other individual authors make. Everybody's making their own sales off of it.
Yeah, everyone's making their own sales off of it. So if you want to turn this into a money-making machine, you can. I use it more as a giveaway, as a value add.
Okay, gotcha. Good information. Yeah, because there may be people who want to do it and they don't know how to do it. They don't even know how it would work. So this is great advice.
Wow, that absolutely is. But I think I wanted to just pick up on the point that you mentioned, the fact that it gives you validation and authority in your field. In other words, there's nothing like becoming an author that says, I know what I'm talking about. Now, there's something interesting that I want to ask you that that resonates with you. I've read a few authors say that that you don't really make money off your book sales per se, but you make money off talking about your book, the doors that it opens for you, the engagements that you get as a result of being an authority by being in a book, albeit whether you've written the whole book or you have co-authored a book. How does that resonate with you?
That resonates very well with me. And honestly, that was the goal I had going into this book. So going into this book, I know I'm not going to sell 1 million copies of this, right? And that's okay. It's still on Amazon. You can still go see it on Amazon. So right there, that's credibility. I have, some of these in my closet. I can put one in an envelope and send it to you easily. That's credibility. And so, yes, it's like a gateway to more business and more clients, building a stronger network down the road. So for me personally, the goal was something other than sell 1 million copies or be a bestseller on Amazon. The goal was to have this be a credibility marker for me and my clients.
Right. And you have gone into this with a clear mind and with understanding the whole situation, because there are a lot of people out there who think, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make $1 million. And that's not necessarily how it always happens. And I see our friend Linda Sunshine's on, and she is agreeing with a lot of what we're talking about here, because she's contributed to a book as well. And it is a great business card. It is, and what you can do from just even your part of it is now then you can spin off from it. Just your 4,000 words. because that's your part and your expertise, then you can take that and make money off of that as well. You can do smaller little ebooks, and you can do, webinars, and you can do virtual retreats, or whatever it is that you do or want to do with it. There's just so many possibilities. And how long were you an entrepreneur, like, before you did this? And I know Bridgetti and I both want to know, like, what's your next project coming up? So we want to make sure you tell us about that before you go. But how long, were you an entrepreneur before you went, oh, hey, I'd like to do this too?
Like -3 months. So I was preparing to leave my corporate career and start my own business at the same time I was writing this book. So this book came out roughly about the same time I left my job and started my business. So the timing from that aspect was really good, because as an entrepreneur, then I have this glorified business card, or this business card on steroids, that I can help get my name out there more. And so the timing was just excellent for that.
Wonderful. And
I know Linda actually put that comment up there. I'm now going to put it on screen again. She says, books are an amazing business card. And I think that's quite spot on. That is why you should go ahead and write a book.
Or collaborate if you don't feel like you can do it yourself, because it is overwhelming. But I think business card on steroids is our next hashtag. We like that. That needs to be.
I'm going to trend. I'm excited.
Yeah, you started a trend today.
And then Linda's also posted some more, a tip here for authors. She's saying, knowing how to market yourself with a book is key. And she says what she does is create videos and marketing pieces for her co-authors, which is so much fun, which is one of the things that, Mary and I were talking about. And we're saying these interviews that we're doing with authors, you can actually take those videos, because it becomes a marketing tool. You can take these videos, chop it up into tiny little tidbits, post them on your Instagram, post them on your Twitter account, put a piece of it onto your website. There's so many things you can do with a video like this to help market yourself and your brand and your book. So what are some of the marketing things you've been doing yourself, Carmen?
Oh, great question. So I actually have my chapter, or my contribution to this book, on my website. So if people are interested, they can go to www.truesisulife.com/book. Just input your email and it magically shows up in your inbox. So I mean, I'm happy to give my contribution to this book away as a value add to people, so they get to know me better. And it's opened up, like, had I not done this book, I would not be speaking with you ladies right now and speaking with your audience right now. And so it's a great way to open up all sorts of marketing. I will take this video. I'm sure I'm going to use this in some future marketing. And then it's opened the door to more projects. I have another collaboration book in the works right now. I'm about to submit my final copy, and the topic in that one is about overcoming. So I have a great friend who has written his own book about his journey and everything he's overcome. He decided to take that same theme and do a collaboration book. And so once you get your theme and you run with it. So for him, my friend Caesar, he's all about overcoming. He's running with it. So that is a great way. That's another great example of how you can take one thing, your own solo book, and then do a collaboration book about the same thing. You're just bringing in the voices of other people who maybe have gone through similar things.
That's awesome. That's great. I'm excited. I can't wait for that to come out. Do you guys know when you'll be finished with that? Do you have a projected, deadline and everything?
I'm guessing that, I should know this, and forgive me, off the top of my head, it's not coming to me. I think it's at the end of the summer. So probably around Labor Day.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. We'll be excited to hear about it. And we'll have to have you back on to talk about that whenever it comes out. But are you kids proud of you? And, what are their ages? How far apart are your children? Are they your cheerleaders?
They are cheerleaders. And so their age is 4 to 11. So they're still quite young. And I have these all around the house, and they're around grandma's and grandpa's house. And so they're like, Mommy, this is your book. Yeah. And they haven't read it yet. They're not quite into this style of reading yet. They are proud of me though. I mean, they know that, okay, mommy has to be on camera, so we have to leave her alone for a little bit. I mean, they got the little lecture right before I came on screen here with you ladies today. And so they are quite proud of me. They think mommy talks on the phone and does camera work all day for her job. Which is quite entertaining. So your perspective on adult work is very different than the adult's perspective on adult work. So.
Right. It's precious, but you're busy. I mean, that's a lot of kids in a small amount of age range. So you guys are very busy.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you, Carmen, so with your, with juggling family, children, being an author, how do you give us a typical day? For anyone that's watching the show now and thinking, heck no, I couldn't possibly do that. Walk us through a typical day so that people can see that this is not an impossible do.
Okay. I believe it or not, I'm asked this question frequently. Sure. One of the keys to my success personally is that I make sure I own my morning. So I am the most creative in the morning. I can get the most amount of stuff done, whether it be writing, whether it be working on something else, planning stuff for my business. So I make sure I get up at least an hour before everybody else in the house. And that's kind of my time where I can be creative. I can do my thinking. I can enjoy my coffee. My neighbors are used to seeing me sitting on my front step, eating my coffee. Now, for you, some of you may be wondering, oh my gosh, mornings, not for me. That's fine. You just have to know when your time of day is that you're the most creative and you're kind of in flow. Let's just call it you're in flow. For me, that's the morning. So I take advantage of that. Also, just with general kiddo management, most every day I just take a piece of paper and write the schedule for the kids and put it on a magnet on the fridge, so that they know, okay, I have softball, I have speech therapy, I need to get in the car with my mom because we have to drive this other kid somewhere. So it's a lot of visual, it's simple. I don't have a fancy bulletin board. I'm sure you could Pinterest as much as you want on this, but I take a piece of paper with a Sharpie and I put it on the fridge for the schedule for the day. So like today we have softball and we have some vision therapy for different kids, and they know where they need to be and what they need to do. And also their chores. We were talking before the show. Once my kids know how to do something, I stop doing it for them. So once they know how to do laundry, they do their own laundry. Once they know how to unload the dishwasher, I haven't unloaded the dishwasher in 2 years. It's great. And so once they know how to do things, I stop doing it for them and I expect them to do it. And I use the word expect and expectation a lot with them. I expect you will behave while we're in the store. I expect you will get your chores done before you go play with your friends. And it's just setting those clear boundaries. And, a schedule on the fridge, it's a boundary. It's setting those clear boundaries with the kids on this is what today is. And it's knowing me well enough that I know I need that hour in the morning before everybody else is up, because that is when I am extremely productive and extremely creative.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I'm kind of thinking, as I'm listening to you talk, I'm thinking words with a purpose. Choosing your words carefully.
Absolutely.
It's also an empowering word. When you say to someone, I expect you to do X, Y, Z, because it's going to enable me to do X, Y, Z. It empowers them because they know that you believe they can actually do it.
Yes.
Yeah, you're empowering them. Yeah, you do. Absolutely. And this is good advice for other moms out there, because a lot of us feel like failures right now, trying to, our hats are taller, our burdens are heavier, our yokes are heavier, or whatever, and so I've talked to a lot of parents who, we started with a list and we started to do this and we tried to keep the schedule and and this and that, and we just had to throw it out the window. Now, I do know as a special needs mom, it's a lot different because we do have to keep schedules at a certain way for our certain kids. So I don't know how many of your kids have special, needs or extra needs, or they have challenges going on. But I do know how important it is to keep that schedule, and those visual schedules are very important. But do you have days that you're like, oh, well, we're going to throw this day in the toilet, because half the kids are crying, somebody's fighting, nobody's been fed, So it gets a little crazy some days.
Yes, it does. And, you know, a good example, we just got back from the cabin. We were at the cabin for about a week over the 4th of July. And there was one day we were going to go to this one particular state park and go hiking. Didn't happen. Everybody was cranky, like, not worth it. We'll do it next trip. And also my husband and I were supposed to go get around a golf in with my in-laws, and that didn't happen either. Kind of the same reason. People were just cranky. The weather, it was really, really hot too, so that was okay. You know, just the weather wasn't cooperating. So we're like, okay, we'll do something fun instead. So we played games and we played cards, and you know, and that's okay. There's been some days like, all right, so by the end of the day, making dinner sometimes is tough, and you're just like, I had this nice dinner planned, and I'm ordering pizza instead.
Yeah, right. Yes. My neighbor gives popcorn sometimes for dinner, and she's a nurse. It cracks me up. I'm like, you guys ate popcorn for dinner? Oh my goodness.
You know what?
What is it? What is that song?
It's on that microwave. So
I know. Yeah. Can you put it in the microwave, kids? Because I'm filing my nails. I need to get to these bad, you know, I don't know. So I love
I was thinking of
what?
I was thinking of that song, you know when to fold it.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
And I think as a mom, you've got to know
it's not going right. Just admit it's not going right. Acknowledge it, and there's some sort of power in that acknowledgement. There's something powerful in saying this day did not go as planned,
right?
And it was still a good day, anyways.
Yeah, listen, we can find the things. We got to teach our kids resiliency. We got to teach them right now, especially resiliency. How to bounce back, how to find the silver linings, what do they have power and control over? Very, very important right now. These are survival skills that they have got to learn right now, because we have no idea what our kids' lives are going to be like. And Brigetti has no idea what her kids, when they have their children, what their lives are going to be like. I mean, and they are going to need these skills for right now, for later, now and later.
Linda's just reminded us who that song is by. It's a Kenny Rogers song, because you know, trying to figure it out in my head. It's Kenny Rogers.
I know you said it, and I was like, I couldn't.
I know, right? I was like thinking, who the heck was singing that song? So, Carmen, tell us who's your book written for, and what is the greatest takeaway for people that will be reading the book? What is that book going to do for them if they go and read it?
Awesome. So it is a book on authenticity. So this is for anybody who is struggling to be themselves, no matter what that is. And, you know, in my journey, so I start out my book with, if you would have told me in high school that I was going to have 6 children, I would have had some very creative language for you to say that in no way happen. And so it's kind of about, you know, you go through life and you think your journey might be one thing and it ends up being another. And it's about embracing that other path that you end up taking and enjoying the ride. And so I love bullet points and I love lists. So I kind of highlighted 7 things I did on my journey to recognize and embrace my authenticity. And the last one is have fun, because I see we get so caught up in doing all the things that we forget to have fun. And sometimes fun is organic and sometimes you have to schedule it in. Either way, it's okay. Just have fun. Make sure you're having fun in what you're doing.
I really, really like that. So how can people reach out and connect with you, Carmen?
Beautiful. So my website is www.truesisulife.com. And let me spell that for you, because I realize it's kind of a funny word. It's TRUESISULIFE.com. Just click on my book page there, and you can find out more information about this book. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook as Carmen Ventrucci, so you can also find me there.
Awesome.
And then also tell me, how did you come up with your website name? Because that's quite unique. Tell me a little bit about that before we close off.
Oh, this is a great story. So the word Sisu, again, that's SISU, is actually a Finnish word. And we're part Finnish on my mom's side of the family. And there's no direct translation into English. It pretty much means grit, determination, tenacity, no matter the obstacle, no matter the odds. So it's a spirit of, taking what life dishes out to you and making it great. And my family and I have overcome a lot of obstacles in the past couple of years. And so this word Sisu is quickly becoming not only my brand, my family's brand, my extended family's brand, because some of the things we've gone through recently. And so true Sisu life, it's all about finding about who you are. So your true north. We all have Sisu in us. It's not about being finished. It's about being human. And then going out and living the life that you want and living the life you're designing for yourself.
All right. Love
I
it.
think that is gorgeous.
I know. I'm going to put it on my wall.
Yeah.
I know, I mean, there's a lot of people that have a website name, and it's pretty straightforward. When you look at the name, it's self-explanatory, and yours wasn't. And so I wanted to know what the story behind your website name was, and that's beautiful. Thank you so much. It was lovely hearing your story, and I hope that we can invite you back sometime, because we didn't even touch sides of the things we wanted to talk about today. But thank you so much for being an awesome guest on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll see you next Tuesday on the
Awesome.
party.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching us live. Remember to write good stuff, and have a great day and have a great week ahead. So from us in Cape Town and in the US, it's goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.